Calling after someone as though you haven't clearly just seen them hang up on you.
ゲームなんてほとんどやったことないんだけどな。動き回るのあまり得意じゃないからな。
She says earlier on that she's basically never before played a game, and yet here she's got an opinion on how good she is when it comes to moving around and stuff. Whatever the hell that means, noob.
今 VRMMO ってこんな風になってるんだ。
How do you know? You said you've basically never played any games before. This could be outdated. What do you know? What are you hiding and why?
そうか、アジリティがゼロだから早く歩けないんだ。どうしよう。リサもいないしログアウトしてやり直そっか。よし。
So, what did she decide to do? Keeping me in the dark, eh, anime? You cheeky so-and-so, you? But why would you do that, though? I don't get it.
すいません。すいません。
Not getting that a person is talking to you when you're right in front of their face, but getting the idea when you've walked several meters away randomly.
みんな歩くの早いな。やっぱアジリティか。
So your little revelation about agility a couple minutes ago didn't really stick with you then?
ない。うお、すごい。痛くない。
So to be clear, because it's very confusing so far, is it meant to hurt when you're attacked? So far I'm getting mixed signals. She said she hates being hurt so will max out defense and just said ow, but why buy a game that physically hurts you? That seems like an unusual selling point for children. The notion that even someone brand new to games in general would still be actively encouraging a monster that's now been attacking her solidly for the past 61 minutes. Monsters in an MMO game that stop attacking you when you ask nicely. What? So that means when she stood there for like 62 minutes as it constantly attacked her in the same way over and over again, she thought she wasn't even getting anything out of it? Is this girl mentally well? So she complains about not being able to move around very fast, not once, but twice since starting the game, and yet here says, at this point, why raise anything but defense? What kind of a dumb game design allows you to raise a resistance to poison after being hit by it just 6 or 7 times? 7 levels gained from 2 monsters. Who designed this game? Before fighting the beat-looking monster, she said, I don't want to fight anything cute again, implying she just fought the bunny. And yet here she's randomly super tired, after fighting 2 mobs and being in the game for just over 1 hour. A game that's designed to allow the user to fall asleep inside of it with no built-in warnings of any kind. I'm confused. Did she fall asleep sitting in that position then? Was she actually asleep in real life or just faking it in the game? Whew! Not understanding this game right now. From this view, all of the people are randomly facing the tree in the middle, but when she's in the game in a second, they're standing around more naturally. No, the other shield that's not on your back. She's only joking, but all the same does open up the menu to report him. LOL?
なるほど。じゃあバイタリティ特化装備が良さそうね。ただ最低でも100万ゴールドくらいはいるけど。まだ3000くらいです。
What on earth is wrong with this weird game? You can gain resistance to poison after being hit by it 6 times. You can level up like 8 levels from fighting 2 mobs, and some gear costs 1 million to buy, and she made 3,000 from fighting about 8 mobs? Being way too annoyingly over the top excited about making a couple of online friends.
ちゃんとした攻撃用のスキルが欲しいんだけど。
How is that not an attack skill? It even says it in the name! CGI! Having a boss and have it only use a single attack, that being to spit poison. Bosses that can be defeated by slowly eating them, and the game lets you taste it. All of a sudden now she's got an AI talking to her and telling her about her new skills, randomly changing it up from the silence of the first episode where she read out everything herself. What do you mean, somehow? You already know how you figured this out right at the start of the game. Not once, but twice. I even mentioned it earlier on. You know this. Once again, very randomly, everyone from above is stood facing the tree, but when she's in the game, they're all acting normal and facing different directions. So you have no choice but to take part if you happen to log in at that point and stand there. You can't just go off and do your own thing. Seems unlikely! All of these people are like whisked away by the flood of poison rather than it actually hitting them like it did her. So does that mean literally none of these people, some of whom are logically a high level, put any points into the same stat she keeps buffing up? She's been playing the game a while now, leveled up to 20, and yet thinks there are maybe monsters spawning in the starting area, ones she can't see facing the same direction no less. She said she caught 12 already, so either they randomly do keep piling up or clearly they don't. But there isn't 12 there, I can tell you that much. This is a game where it's just as fast to level up fighting mobs as it is to fish. How though? What's the point in having a fishing element if you can swim and pick up 14 times as many in much less time? So there's no place other than this to swim that's way closer, since this area was implied by the crafting lady as being quite a bit of distance away. So usually I don't mention CGI more than once in a video, but that's not very good looking at all. CGI! By the way though, when did she learn any of these attacks? All we've been shown is these two said they would go to the cave all the time so she could level up her ability to swim. We've never seen her fight even once, or even been shown them outside, leading one to think that maybe she has spent some time actually fighting. You know what? At least they're actually addressing this so they can take a sin off. No, that's outlandish! Why mention there even being a green one? Is the color green super rare? Doesn't really fit in with what she said though. She's saying, oh, he meant it's scary, so not great for a girl. So you saying, I'm also a girl, doesn't really matter. She's musing on what he said because it's affected her. As opposed to telling her that you're gonna do that. So this means if you're knocked out within the game, you're actually knocked out in real life as well? Doesn't sound good if there's an emergency in your house, like it's on fire. Oh, local girl burnt to death because she was knocked out by an enemy within the game. Whoops! No, she's a figment of your overactive imagination, or maybe you're in heaven because of the house fire you failed to escape from thanks to your lovely online game that knocks you out IRL.
Hi, Sally です。こんにちは。お噂はメープルからよく伺ってます。
Like what? She's met her twice. The first time she said, give me a cool meal to make you gear. And the second time she agreed to make her a shield if she got her some fish.
小さな大空、どうぞお召し上がりください。
遠征の国、そのメンバーである誇りを胸に
Weeb!
地の果て、
Nerd!
それの彼方にもついてくれない。
あれは遠征の国っていうグループだ。
遠征？
That's something you just felt had to be repeated back in the form of a question, yeah? The word emperors.
サリーと1週間ずっと一緒か。冒険旅行って感じでワクワクするね。
So it's 2 hours in real life to equal 1 week in the game? Yet in the previous episode, after finishing in the forest, the girl without the shield mentioned wanting to log out since it had now got dark in game. Even though taking into account this new information, it basically means it would have gotten light again within like, what, 10 minutes or something? Also, there was a side note, it would be a terrible game if its day and night cycle was that fast, since a full day would last like, my math is bad, but something like 20 or so minutes?
迷宮の隠し財宝だったり、ボスキャラがドロップしたりってのが定番だけど。
Given that she got items from normal monsters earlier on at the start of the game, it's probably not true to say that you usually get items from boss drops and hidden treasures in mazes. Not gonna lie, the whole oh every time something happens is going to end up getting slightly irritating. Bit weird that they seemingly both needlessly kept their eyes shut when they were being transported. Do you need to do it? Is it like looking at the sun, you could burn your eyes out? Why would you do that? Why?
クロムさん？
おお、メイプルか。あとそっちはサリーだよな。
You two just met before this.
クロムさん、どうぞ先に入ってください。
いいのか？こういうのは早い者勝ちだと思うが。
Surely it's always first come first served, no? There's even PvP to enforce that rule. So in the game, you can be like physically hurt to the point where you struggle to talk normally. I just don't really understand the rules of this game and how it works. Like, you can't feel heat or cold, you can taste food, but they make it so you can get physically hurt. I guess I don't even really know if that's true, since there's been no evidence of that before this scene.
メダルが5枚の卵？うん。でも会長のじゃないっぽいね。
Also though, it's a game, so they're definitely not from the boss bird, are they?
え？待ってよ！
She has cover move, and yet doesn't use it now.
みんな最初は同じ反応するんですよ。
Why would you give yourself away though? So, there's luck in games, and then there's randomly managing to find every secret area constantly, and that's definitely the category she's currently in.
はい、これは霞の分。
いいのか？もし望むならメイプルたちの好きなようにしてく。
気にしないで。対人戦はルールにあることなんだし。
Why would she attack you after willingly and nicely giving you a medal just now when she didn't have to?
その姿を表さん。勇敢なる者よ、魔を払いて。
Knowing you have to read from that specific part of that page, even though clearly both sides are full of gumph. Whoa!
いきなり水の中？その溺れ。
Assuming you're drowning when you're clearly not and still able to even talk.
残り1日。メダルは？
So all of this that we've seen so far has been, what, like 1 hour and 25 minutes? Get out of here, you silly goose!
さよなら。
Reaction occurs long after an attack cliche. Imagine playing an MMO that has a PvP option, knowing that and buying it, then screaming when a female character comes to attack you. Bruh.
2枚。持ってる人って少ないんだな。
For a group of level 2 adventurers, they sure do all have pretty much the same looking weapons.
すっごく濃厚な7日間だった。
It was 2 hours!
楓！
She spent 2 hours playing a game, get out of here with this!
楓！ん？闇夜の写し？え？
Oh, please.
早速だけどメープルがいない間にまた新しい要素が追加されたよ。新しい。
Well, I'll let that one go.
それを捕まえるとギルドホームを買う権利が手に入るの。ギルドホーム
Seriously? After my kindness?
噂じゃペインさんはレベル60までいってるって。レベル 60？ 私なんてやっと30超えたとこなのに。
Imagine a game where you gain 8 levels by killing 2 mobs and 22 more levels from playing the game for over a week, hours at a time.
メープルのバイタリティってどれくらいなんだ？
本人に聞いてみたら多分教えてくれると思うよ。
Or you could save everyone time and not be awkward and just say it if you know it.
その通り。第2回と同じくゲーム内での時間加速があるらしい。
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. I must have missed that in-game time was sped up.
だけどメンバーを探すって言ってもな、どうすればいいんだろう。最終的にはメープルが決めてくれればいいよ。
Surely you can at least offer a suggestion, though. She asks a question that implies wanting help, and the first thing you say is ultimately it's up to you.
じゃあ一層に行ってみない？一層には強いプレイヤーは残ってないと思うけど。
Surely, though, people level up so far down there and then move up when they're ready, which would mean that there's probably a load of people nearing a level where they can then head up to the second floor or whatever it is.
ちょっといいかな。何ですか
Why are they showing people like this? They tell us via exposition that these two have been playing for a while, and yet in what is clearly a safe zone, she's like, "Wow!" worried and half protecting her sister from someone daring to talk to her.
二層では結構有名人。それはよくわからないけど。
There's being modest, and then it goes the other way, leading into irritating pretending modesty, because several people have told her that she's famous and she's been recognised by the top 2, 3 and number 5 in the game, so pretending otherwise is actually annoying.
どうサリー、入ってもらっていいよね。いいと思う。
She already said earlier on it was up to you, and you said, oh, it's hard making decisions or whatever, and then straight away, after having picked these two out herself and already having invited them to the guild, she still refers back to Sally for a final decision, who then gives one.
よろしくお願いします。
Two people say the exact same thing in the exact same way at the exact same time cliche.
はい、おしまい。本当に一人で倒しちゃいました。
Except that she didn't because the other girl had to get involved and use her shield, but sure, whatever.
さすがメイプル。また普通じゃない人材を見つけてきたな。
Ah, yeah, he's spot on. Like the time she picked out that weird one. Which one you on about? This game allows you to attack tables. Small sin here, but one all the same. It's getting irritating hearing that same music every time they're in a battle now.
勝っちゃったの？
You've done this place more than once and yet feel the need to ask this question.
俺がその気になればこのままお前を持ち逃げすることもできるんだぞ。いやいや、まさか本当にはやらないって。
Didn't speak, it said turtle. Why are you freaking out for?
よかった、来てくれたんだ。
何してるんだ？
This game allows a player to be inside a massive ball of wall and struggle to get out of it.
みんなは今日もレベル上げか。私は何しようかな。
Just imagine talking out loud like this in a game where there's other players walking about. Ooh, talk about cringe!
もう開始できませんが、お願いします。どうか。
やっぱり。
Do you even know how insane it would be to have a game where you can't tell the difference in any way between a player and an NPC? What is wrong with you?
貴様のおかげで恐ろしい怪物たちから逃れることができました。
ああ、そうか。本当はもっと苦労して森を脱出するはずだったんだ。
You know what? That's the first really funny thing in this anime. Take a sin off for addressing that.
おお、それがイズの作ってた装備か。
いいじゃないか、似合ってるぞ。
イメージ一新って感じだね。素敵です、メイプルさん。
Always really nice when people talk in a specific lined order.
ライバル多いな。
Couldn't she just use her paralyzed thingy attack, which was like a proper AoE skill? They say that she'll have a hard time doing that quest and so decide to send her advice. And all that they say to her is basically what boils down to do your best. Where's the advice?
やっちゃった。ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい、ごめんなさい。
It's a game. She notices something which looks to be a solid meter away from her, but then is able to bend straight down and pick it up, and from the next view you can see it would have been by this plant.
できる限り頑張りました。
Two people finish one full sentence together cliche.
ついに人間をやめたのか。
ああ、やめたな。間違いない。
It's a game though, people. She's doing stuff within a game. This guy gets annoyed as though it's somehow hard not to see a giant flying turtle and avoid it. Even though she got knocked all the way back, she was able to walk right back up to it in spite of being admittedly insanely slow within like 1 full second.
どうしてここに？あ、水浴びですか？それもいいね。
Because nothing says I've come to play in the water with you like staring at you from a distance for a long period of time. These guys have all now been playing the game for an even longer period of time and yet are all wearing the exact same gear and using the exact same weapon. Very strange to call someone a thief when it's part of a game that you're playing. Imagine playing a game where you're all at high enough level to reach the next platform, and then you've got a single character strong enough to take out like 20 people in PvP in 1 or 2 hits. He says, basing that on nothing other than her looking out of breath for a bit, in a game where quite frankly I don't even know if you can get physically tired or whatever. Just throwing this out there, could her reason be to win the game? I know I've mentioned it a few more times and this will now be the last, but you lost any and all semblance of this being a game when you can have one injured or worn out player take on about 30 other players that are all of a high enough level to be up there with her in the first place. It makes no sense at all. Why not just start with that then? Giving yourself away before you attack cliche. So that's the question. Is she out cold in real life or just sat there like, oh, I thought I had longer to finish my sentence. I'll go make a cuppa. Because surely if it was that, you'd just log out rather than lay there. Okay. Why are these two numpties acting like they're actually being hit when the whole purpose behind her golden circle or something or whatever is that they don't take any damage? Why not just use the cover move thing right away again, since in an earlier episode she was using it literally over and over again and purely to keep up with her fast friend against the boss? For the final time of this video, yay! It's the same battle music again, only 14 times in the previous 2 episodes. Gosh, had I missed it! Final time of this video, how are these people so weak to be taken out by a single attack that didn't even directly hit them? During the time you said that, you could have literally said the name of the move you've been trying to say. Wait, hold the phone. You gotta remember all that nonsense in order to do the move in the game? You assume it's her trump card, could just be another one of her many skills. And also, what benefit is it to you to see it when it's clearly massively OP? Oh, next time I still won't be able to do anything! You're in a game, they're not really gone! You had a joint in your own head's idea? For the last time of this video, stop pretending you can do that naturally. It's the 5th time! Here we go! Here's the evidence I needed. Why has she and other people been acting like they're getting physically hurt when stuff attacks them or they fall over and stuff if you physically can't get hurt even a little bit? I thought nothing hurts you in that world, though! Thank goodness you were all there to yell out her name, though!
負けたのにあんまり悔しそうじゃねえな、ペイン。
そんなことはない。いつかきっと借りは返す。
Well, no, he's right. Doesn't matter how you look at it, you definitely don't look or seem upset at all.
私が普通にプレイしてるだけなんだけどな。どこが
Even though she literally is. Nathan Byrne, Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Anthony Rowe, Isael Caldera, Arman Jasuja, Chris Harris, Yona Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Joe W, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Juffa 6263, Silva, Master Tank, Boogie, Andy McVeigh, Aurora, Kevin Nelter, Stefio, Joel Rosenfeld, Brendan Krier, Storm 970, Spirit Spinner, Mr. Waffles 64, Theodore Quackens, Kaj Vorzelman, Jordan Samuels, Gabby Z, Humye, Crimson Shadows.